Hello and welcome to this much anticipated showcase and setup of the Z Hose script by Zea Development. So you want to start off by going to the store once Z Hose has been released and purchasing it. Then you want to go to your keymaster and it'll be here. So it'll be created by Zea Development, Z Hose. Just click download. Wait for it to download. There it is. Hose pack. Okay, you get this. You get the foam branch, real branch. These are just weapons, so don't worry about this. So we get the script, obviously. Now, because there's multiple resources within a folder, you just want to leave it as hose or just rename it, but just make sure that you've got the square brackets around that. So I'm going to chuck that into my development server here. I am also installing the Z Offset Finder, which is free on the Zea Development store. Let me just delete them. But yeah, that is free on the Zea Development store. I have also got a vehicle that I am going to be setting up with to show you how to set up the hose with different vehicles. So let's go into the hose. Z Hose core, settings, config.lua. Okay, so we've got the vehicles that have the hose on it. For now, it's just a fire truck. We're going to leave that. The hoses that we've got. So this is the weapon name and the object name. If you wanted to change what weapon model you want to use and weapon name. These are just objects that are spawned, I believe. These are supply methods. So these are how you get the water and how quickly the water comes in from each different fire hydrant model. We've also got suction, as you can see here, which I assume takes water out from something else and puts it in. So this has compatibility for vehicle to vehicle pumping, which we will also show. Decal type, the colors, and if it can cover entities. I want it to cover entities, so I'm going to set that to true. It can look a bit weird sometimes, especially on vehicles. It looks really shiny, but I quite like the look of the water. These are just your keybinds. These are just languages. Again, if you want to change the language, just rename that to a language that you are going to use. Okay, so it's quite a small config file this time. Yeah, I wouldn't touch any of the offsets here unless you want it to be a different part of the hydrant. But I would leave them. If we come over to the module section, we have the firetruck.lua. So it needs to be the spawn name of the vehicle .lua. So can carry water, can carry foam. So you can just change basically everything. Intakes, discharges. This is if you have ZELS installed, which I don't for this tutorial. But if you do, you can activate different lights through the panel, which I will show you once we get in game. But that is just so we're gonna go into our server config. Now, for my example, I'm going to be using a QB core framework. So you want to ensure the hose and ensure Z offset finder, which is that you want to copy and then paste. Paste there. So I'm using a QB core framework. Okay, I'm going to wait for the server to start and then I'll meet you guys in game. Okay, once we're in game, as you can see, it says started resource foam branch, started resource real, started resource Z hose, and then Z offset finder as well. You just want to connect to your server. Okay, so now we're in game. I'm going to show you what to do and how to set it up. Let's set it to day real quick. And we want to do freeze time. Okay, so let's say that this discount store was on fire. Okay, and we've got a nicely placed fire hydrant there actually. So you want to go to around the side where the supply line is. So we're going to let's take the one from the back. So we're going to take the supply line from the back by holding G. like that. And you want to come round and then walk up to the fire hydrant, go in first person and hold G again. There we go. Right. Then you want to you want to leave your vehicle engine on. Once you have left your vehicle engine on, actually hate NPCs. Right, you want to come around to the panel. Hold Z. Okay, once your panel is open, as you can see, we've got OK to pump because we left the engine on. Shows your engine speed. We're going to engage the pump just for now. You've got your valves. So our supply line's on the back. So we're going to do the rear intake. And we want to do the rear attack line also. Here we've also got a map to show where each fire hydrant is on the map. So if you're not near one, you can just click it and click set route, and it would set a route on your map. And as you can see on the little red arrow there, that's me. Vehicle. So if you had ZELS installed, you could configure, you could turn your lights on from this panel here. You can see it's quite cool. Hazards and then door locks and stuff. Okay, so we've got our valves open. This is our water level and foam level. That's the time. Is that the time? Yeah, that's the time. Okay. Come around here. Hold E to grab your hose. Okay, and here we have our hose, which is very nice. Say there's a fire in here, you come in, and then you could just... These are the decals, by the way. So what I meant by the decals, it just makes everything look like water has been there. You can drop your hose by pressing your G by default. Of course, I'll pick it up with E by default. Just like that, and then your hose will reconnect. We are going to turn the line back. Okay, and we're going to use the foam line. Okay, this is the foam line. It is different to the water hose. As you can see, it leaves foam on the floor, which is again really nice. Like that. So that is how you use the hose. Okay, we are gonna... Oh, that was close. Return the line here. And we're going to disconnect the supply from the back. Go disconnect supply line. Just like that. And we're going to turn off our pumps also. So we're gonna, so our foam level's going down. You have to refill that with a jerry can. Okay. We're gonna turn off our intakes and turn off our pump. Turn off our pump. There we go. It's gone down. And I'm gonna show you how to connect it to lakes and other water sources. Okay, for this example, let's say that this house here was on fire. What we would do is you'd come by the water source. So I would come down here. Like that. And we would do here and do /LPP. Okay, and we're going to drop it in the water here. Okay, pump placed. And we need to go up and grab our supply line. Gonna run up onto the back of the vehicle again. Take the supply line. It's our rope, and we're gonna run down. Let's jump down there, and we're gonna connect our supply line. Oh. The suction. There we go. So that, when we use the water, or it's going to suck the water out from the ocean here, and then take it to our fire truck here. Okay, so we're going to go round to the pump panel again. And make sure our vehicle, so if the vehicle engine isn't on, say the pump is not okay. So let's go and turn the vehicle engine on. Go. Vehicle engine is on. And we want to come down to the pump panel. Engage the pump. Go down to the valves. We're going to do the rear intake, rear attack line also, and also the pump intake. Now, so that is doing its job of sucking the water and take it to our fire engine. That's our intake, engine speed, discharge. We're going to take our hose line, just like that. Okay, and then it will work as expected with the water, decals all over the floor on the house. And look down here, it's still doing its job, which is very nice. So that is how you set up the water suction. Let's just take that back and then disconnect the supply line here. Okay, and you want to come down to your portable pump. I just want to do /LPP again. Pick it up. Amazing. Now I will also show you how to do truck to truck. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do truck to truck. So when this would be used is if there was a massive fire. Let's say this barn was engulfed in flames, for example, and you want multiple fire engines, but the issue is that you want one fire engine connected to be connected to a hose at once. So then in this instance you could have one fire engine connected to one fire hydrant, taking all the water, so you get infinite water to this fire engine here, and then the water from this fire engine here can also be transferred to this fire, or is taken from this fire engine instead of taken from this fire engine. So theoretically speaking, you can basically get infinite water for all fire engines in the area with just one fire hydrant. Now, to set this up, first of all, you want to grab the relay line from the fire engine that you want to take water from. So, just grab it from this one. This is what I want to take the water from. Okay. And then you want to connect the relay line from this engine to the intake from this engine. So, right here would be where I do it. Okay. Right, now that's done, you want to go over to the engine where you're taking, you're giving the water to the other engine. Open up the pump, engage the pump, go to your valves, and you want to open up rear discharge. Okay, so now the water's being pumped to through the hose, but this here isn't open yet, so the water is just sitting in this hose at the moment. So to fix that, you want to engage the pump, and you want to open up your rear intake, which is the intake at the back area. And so the pump intake is the supply line just down there. Okay, so once your rear intake is open, I'm going to open the rear attack line just to show you. So now that is set up for these two vehicles. So now if I take my hose, just like this, okay, and I spray loads and loads of water. Let's just go ham. There we go. Oh, wow. He got his neck caught around the hose there. That's what happened there. But then we're going to put our line back. Turn the line just like that. Okay, and we check the pump panel of the engine we just sprayed water from. As you can see, the water is still full. Okay, which means that the water will be taken from this engine instead, which, as you can see, it has. Now, if this engine's supply line from the pump, which is here, or the supply line from the rear here is connected to a fire hydrant, this will be getting infinite water. So the water wouldn't be going down from this engine. So that way, all the engines in the area will have infinite water from the fire hydrant. That is how you set up the fire truck to fire truck intake system. And to disconnect it all, you want to go over to the rear intake. Actually, first you want to go over to the pump panel. Okay, you want to go to your valves, turn off the rear discharge, and turn up the pump. Go around to this engine, go to your valves, turn off the rear intake and the rear attack line if you had the attack line on, turn off the pump, go over to the which one is it? The relay line, and then just disconnect. Just like that. And that is how you use the relay system. Now, when using the offset finder, you just want to do slash C hose config. This is by default. You can change this in the config file. Now, you can use your arrow keys, your up, down, left, and right, and then shift and control to lower and increase the offset, like that. You could also hold your left alt and use your page up to increase. Oh, if you didn't have a third eye, then you can just change it in your config. But if you hold left alt, you can increase the speed of it through that. You can also decrease the speed to do really fine offset. So I want my panel. This is not done properly, by the way. I'm just doing it as an example. Let's say I want my panel to be right. Let's say where that thing is there. So I'm going to move my offset upwards and in a little bit more. A bit more up, in, forward a little bit. And then I'm going to hit my enter. Now it says offset copy to clipboard. You now want to go into hose, Z hose, settings, config.lower. And you want to add the name of it. So the spawn name is NB fire truck. Like that. So that's set up there. Go into modules, copy, paste, rename that to the spawn name, so MB fire truck for my example. Open up the .lower file. So I want it to carry all of this. So this is my panel offset here. So that's where I want my panel to be. So I want to go where it says there and just paste. Now that's the offset of where the panel will be on that vehicle. So pump intake. I'm not going to do any of this, but you would do the same for the intakes and the valves. I'm going to just do the rear attack line. So I want my attack line just to be at the back where. So you can obviously do this properly and set it up perfectly with where all your little buttons are inside of the fire truck. So I'm going to move it forward a little bit. Yeah, let's just leave it there. Copy to clipboard. Let's do the rear attack line and just paste there. Just like that. This is just, yeah. And then that's pretty much the setup for a vehicle. Now to come out of it, if you want to reset, by the way, just press R. And it'll just put it back in the middle. What the actual? So now do Z hose config again, or whatever you set, and that's it. Bosh. Now I'm going to restart Z hose. Z underscore hose probably. That's it. And now if I look at this vehicle where I wanted the panel to be, there, panel's there. Perfectly placed. And then the attack line should be here, where I set the offset. And then the hose and wires come out automatically, just like that. And I've not obviously got the pump on or anything, so it won't spray anything. Yeah, the relay line is just where it is default on the fire truck if you didn't change any of the values. But that is the showcase and configuration of the long-awaited Z hose resource. If you would like to purchase, head to the store, store.zeadevelopment. You can join the Discord, where our support teams will be happy to help you out with any issues you're encountering.